G'day Gorgeous, you're listening to episode 11 of the G'day Gorgeous podcast that empowers women for life, and today's topic rolls on from last week's episode on the topic of money. And today we're going to be talking about how to bridge the gap between being broke and being financially free. This empowering podcast has been created by me, Jane Clarkson. I am a best-selling author of my newly released book, From Frustrated to Fabulous, an inspirational guide for women who dare to live their dreams. I am also an inspirational and international speaker, entrepreneur, wealth and lifestyle coach for women globally. And if you're a woman and you crave more from life, you want more certainty, more clarity, and more confidence to create a life by design, your dream life by design, and not live by default nor desperation, then this podcast will help you go from feeling frustrated in any area of your life to feeling fabulous and successful in all 7 areas of your life. Now, on this podcast, we talk about love, health, relationships, your money, your vocation, which is your job, career, and business, or happiness and personal growth. And I can promise you that this podcast is going to be raw, it's going to be real and extremely relatable because it is based on real life circumstances, real life experience, lessons, and results. And I'm going to be talking about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright heartbreaking in all sort of different stories and experience that I am sure you can relate to in so many ways. And be sure to have your journal ready. You'll be doing lots of writing because this is about creating your life by design. And as I keep saying, writing has a magic power to it. It helps you change old habits, create new thoughts, new words, new dreams, new inspirations, and a nice cup of tea ready, or coffee or bubbles or whatever you're into, and get ready to learn and discover a few steps on how to bridge the gap of being broke to becoming financially free. And all I'm asking you is to have an open heart and an open mind and come with me on this adventure by putting yourself in my shoes and seeing how your life experiences and results relate to the stories and the experiences that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And of course, if you've been following the G'day Gorgeous podcast that empowers women for life, you may recall on our last podcast, our previous episode number 10, I spoke about how to stop having a poverty mentality and think and grow rich instead, like Napoleon Hill talks about. However, today I'm going to get into the next step of bridging that gap. And I hope last week you did those exercises. I gave you 3 very powerful tips at the beginning and 3 very powerful tips throughout that podcast on how to start to break that mentality. If you have a poverty mentality in and around money or know somebody that does, and as I said, this is not pointing the finger or judging anyone, because I am sharing stories of my own past, stories of my own experiences, and stories of my own results, and hopefully inspiring you and having an impact to help you create and live that dream life that you want and you so deserve. And so I would say, first thing, grab your journal and turn to a page. And I want you to write down every golden nugget, everything that I say that inspires you to want to become more than you are so that you can have more than you have. And I want to get into today talking about bridging the gap and why I'm qualified to talk about this, because as you may remember or recall, I've had 33 different jobs, started 14 different businesses from scratch, trying to find the answers, trying to find out how I could live my life by design. I didn't want to fit into society's way of thinking. I didn't want it to conform what others wanted me to do. And I wanted to live life on my own terms. I mean, don't you as well? Isn't that what life's all about, is living our own hopes, goals, and dreams? And so from all of those journeys and so many different jobs. And I remember at one stage with the 33 different jobs, I was holding down 3 jobs at one given time. I remember when I was about 26 years of age, I had a job selling advertising at the local newspaper, which is called The Examiner in Launceston, Tasmania. And I would go to work every morning at 8 a.m. and then at 12:30 at lunchtime, I would change into my running gear and run around about a mile to the local gravel yard where I would literally drive or operate a front end loader, piling sand and gravel into massive great big trucks that came into the gravel yard. And then about 5:30 I would finish that job. I would literally run home, which was probably about 2 or 3 kilometres away, and change into my clothes, go down to the local pub. I could literally walk to the pub from where I lived in Launceston, and I would run the bar there. And then we had the TAB back in those days, and I would literally be behind the back of a bar till 10 p.m. at night. And that was my life. That was normal back then. And as you may recall, I had parents who always said to me, if you want to have a great life, Amanda, if you want things, you've got to work harder, get more jobs, work 2 or 3 jobs. I mean, take yourself back in time. Did you hear that sort of stuff growing up as well? Perhaps that could be your life now. Do you have more than one job? Or do you have goals and hopes and dreams of becoming financially independent, financially set so that you can live your dreams and help other people live their dreams? I mean, what are your dreams? Do you even have dreams? Do you know what they are? And that's why I always say, have a journal in your hand. And, I've got dozens of journals where I have always filled them with my hopes and my dreams, and I read them and I keep them in a special place in my home. And I believe everything starts with a dream. And in my last podcast, I spoke about the power of having a vision board, images and pictures that inspire you, keep you enthusiastic. And this is today, the lesson is the next 3 tips that I'm going to share with you is how to start bridging that gap of here to here so that you feel like you're on the right road, you feel like you've got more certainty, more clarity, and you start to gain confidence as time goes on. And so when I left Tasmania and I moved up to Queensland, I think I was about 27 years of age, 28 years of age, I attended my very first wealth creation seminar in my 30s. And I realized then that I needed to learn a whole lot more than I knew. And if I wanted to become financially abundant, if I wanted to become financially free, independent, and live my dreams, I needed to attend a lot of seminars. I needed to invest in myself. I needed to invest in mentors who had results that I wanted. And that is something that I have a huge belief around from my own experience and my own results is that I always only invest in mentors and coaches who actually had the result that I was looking for. And so from going to all these different seminars and seeing the abundance of wealth out there, seeing the abundance of what could be possible, I started to see what was possible for me. My mind opened up, my heart opened up to new possibilities, new ideas, new concepts, new people, things I'd never seen before, things I'd never heard before. And my question for you is, if you would love to bridge the gap of where you are to where you want to get to, what are you doing about it? Have you ever attended a seminar? Have you ever invested in a coach? Have you ever invested in a mentor? Have you started to invest in your self-education so that you can learn things that you don't know about to have a life and things that you don't yet have? This is the truth. This is where it all begins. And so from attending all these wealth seminars and realizing that if I helped other people get what they want, that perhaps I could get what I want. I had a new burning desire that I wanted to create an education company. And that's what my husband and I did back in 2007. We created an education company and we taught people all over the world how to import products from China, how to sell them on the internet, mainly eBay back in those days. We don't do any of that now. But then we started to help other people become successful. We helped other people go from a standing start to becoming millionaires. We helped other people go from a standing start to creating an extra stream of income, to creating more wealth in their life, to creating more confidence, self-esteem, and freedom, whatever that looked like for them, whatever that meant for them, I should say. And remember, it's not about how much money you have. This is about a journey of self-discovery and a journey of becoming prosperous mentally and emotionally before the money turns up in your bank account. And that's why I'm always talking about money being an inner game before it can become a physical game, or before you can attract it and create it into your life. And this is the part that a lot of people miss. They think that just starting a business or just having a certain job or a certain career is the answer. But I always say no. The missing ingredient is the mindset. Become wealthy in the mind, and then you become wealthy in life. Become wealthy in all 7 areas of life, not just about money. And now I'm going to delve into why it's never too late for you. It doesn't matter who you are, where you have been, your age, your background, your education, it doesn't matter. All it takes is the next 3 things to help you bridge the gap of where you are to where you want to get to. So step number 1, you must have a burning desire for creating wealth and freedom. Because wealth and freedom are not going to come and tap you on the shoulder. And that's what I realized from a very young age. For things to change, first I must change. And that's why I was so excited and so interested in going to night school to learn business, going to night school to learn marketing, attending wealth creation seminars, reading the books, investing in the mentors and the coaches who could help me bridge the gap. I don't know a single successful person on this planet who gets there alone. And here's one thing that one of my mentors always said to me: Amanda, you can always get more money, but you cannot get more time. And that was such a profound statement to me. And I wrote that down in my journal, and I've always remembered it, that I wanted to bridge the gap between here and here as fast as I possibly could. And I had this burning desire within me to do whatever it was going to take to make it happen. So thinking about your life right now, do you have a burning desire to bridge that gap of becoming financially free, to having everything that you want in life, to being able to help others get what they want in life, to be able to give to charities, to your family, to your community, to your church group, to a cause that is bigger than you? Do you have that burning desire? Have you got the fuel within you to keep going no matter what? Because remember, life is not one-sided. There's always a positive and a negative. And so the desire must be so strong within you that no matter what comes your way, you can work through it. And that has been my experience, the desire to be free on all levels of life, financially, mentally, spiritually, physically, in every area of my life. I had such a burning desire that I would stop at nothing until I got there. And as you know, to this day, I still study. I still have mentors. I still invest into my personal education, because we never stop growing. We never stop expanding. There's always the next dream, the next goal, always looking forward. And my dream, my mission and vision in life is to impact globally as many people as I can and help them live their life by design and not by default. And so thinking about you now, How deep is your desire for the freedom that you want? How deep is the desire to create that life by design that I know you want? To actualize those dreams that you've probably had since you're a young child, like we all have. Have you got that burning desire? And are you willing to invest into mentors, into coaching, into going to seminars, into reading books and learning things that you don't know so that you can grow more, so that you can expand more and you can create wealth and abundance into your life as well? So that is step number 1, a burning desire. Now, step number 2, a big chief aim. And this is something that the legend Napoleon Hill talks about. You must have a big chief aim. And I boil that down to meaning you must know what you want and why you want it. And something that I want to share here that's super important. So many people set themselves up for failure because they set their goals and their hopes and their dreams on what other people want for them instead of what they want. And this is a massive subject that I talk about, I coach on, and I talk about your true, authentic values. And so, this is something that I study a lot with Dr. John Demartini, who's one of my mentors, my most inspiring and impactful mentors that I've ever had, talking about your intrinsic values. And so you must know what you're aiming for. What do you want in life? What do you dream of? Not your parents, not your partner, not your children, not your environment, not social influence, not your friends' influence, not religion influence, but you truly in your heart and in your soul. What would you love your life to look like financially? Now, this is about money, but I also incorporate this with everything. See, for me, wealth is about every area of life. However, if you want to bridge the gap, we're talking about money today with your financial freedom. What does it look like for you? What do you want? And more importantly, why? If you don't have big enough reason, something that's pushing you when the going gets tough, and it will, adversity hits all the time, and it will, from my experience anyway. What is going to keep you going? What is going to keep you inspired and enthusiastic so that you don't quit on yourself? So that's number 2, your what and your why. And remember, they say, if your why is big enough, the how will show up. And the how could be what I call the vehicle. And that could be in the form of meeting a business idea, meeting people that can help you, opportunities, all sorts of things show up. And this is the universal laws in motion. If your why is big enough, you have enough reason, enough desire, you will work it out. And that was what happened with me. But I wrote it out in my journal. I was very, very detailed. And I have found from my own experience that the more detailed I am, and I have in my own journal a page here that says, My Life by Design. And I write down in absolute detail exactly what I want and why I want it. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I get ideas, I meet people, I read a book, I see a podcast, I go to a seminar, I can invest in a mentor or a coach who has the result that I want, and that helps me bridge the gap. So what about you? Have you ever been in this situation, or are you just beginning from scratch? And I really hope you're getting some golden nuggets from what I'm sharing, because I know the journey inside out. I've walked thousands of miles, perhaps in your shoes, perhaps not, but I understand what it takes. Now, step number 3, vitally important. And again, this is a step that a lot of people miss out on. Step number 3 is a plan. You've got to have a blueprint. Nobody builds a house with just working from their memory. Everybody who builds a house, well, I hope most people, have a blueprint. But I'm talking about a plan that serves as many others as possible. Plus, on top of that, an investment plan. So once you make the money, what are you going to do with the money? If you want to grow your finance, you want to become abundant and prosperous, financially independent, you've got to have a plan for the money. What are you going to do with it when you get it? Are you going to put it into property, maybe shares, or invest into a business? And I always say, I believe you are your best asset. The more you become educated, the more you understand on how to invest your money, to make it grow. Okay? And how you do that is your business. I wouldn't tell you what to do, and I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm just sharing step number 3, which is you need a plan. Now, for me, my plan was to create financial independence. I wanted to serve as many people as I could. I wanted to help others get what they want. So in turn, I got what I wanted. And so that's what I was talking about before. That's why we created our education company. And today, the thing that I love to do the most, the thing that gets me out of bed, sometimes at 3 a.m. in the morning, is my love for inspiring and empowering other people to live their life by design as well. For you, that might be completely different. So for today's action steps, I want you to think about, well, what does that look like for you? What excites you? What ignites passion within you? What makes you enthusiastic to wake up early in the morning and want to go out and do it? How can you help others get what they want so that you get what you want? What books do you need to read? What seminars do you need to attend? What mentors do you need to invest in that can help you close that gap as quickly as possible? And here's one quote that I want to leave with you today that my mentor, Dr. DeMartini, shared with me years ago that I live by today. And here's what he says. Until you have a cause bigger than yourself, you will never get past yourself. Now, how profound and powerful is that statement? And each and every day, I ask myself, how can I inspire somebody? How can I empower another person? How can I impact a woman's life so that she gets to get out there and live her goals and her dreams like I did? That is what drives me. So my question is for you, gorgeous, what is driving you? And that's why having a journal is so powerful and impactful. And, I talk about it all the time. In every podcast, you will see me holding up my journal and talking about writing it down because, as I keep saying, writing has a magic about it. Writing has a power. And when you go back and you read your own words of inspiration, it really ignites the flame. It keeps you going no matter how tough the times become. And let me tell you, gorgeous, sometimes those boulders will come out of nowhere, knock you down flat, and you've got to ask yourself, when I get knocked to the ground, and that has been my experience so many times, unless you have a cause bigger than yourself, unless you have that burning desire, that plan and that strategy, you will stay flat in the dirt. And that's why these steps are so critical to life success. And I remember, my story as a personal trainer back in my 30s. I could only serve a few people. When I started as that personal training business, Royal Personal Training, it was just me one-on-one. Then I had contractors come and work for me, and over time we could serve over, I think it was about 115 people a week. But I wanted to serve people on a bigger scale. And then, so what I became was a speaker and an educator. And so when we started our education companies, when I was nearly 40, we could impact thousands of people's lives, hundreds and thousands of people's lives. And then as the internet grew and got bigger and bigger, and podcasts have now come out, we've got a YouTube channel, we're sort of all over the place, we can reach millions of people. And that is what drives me today. This is my vision and my mission, my life's work, what I call my purpose. And so I want you now to think about your life, your purpose, what drives you, and how can you serve as many people as you possibly can. Because I really do believe at a deep level that the more you give, the more you receive. Think about how you can serve and help others prosper, and you will prosper. That is the law of the universe. You see, wealth and financial freedom doesn't happen by accident, that I know. It happens first in the mind, through thoughts, your feelings, your words, your actions, and they create your results. And as one of my other mentors says, your outer world reflects your inner world. So as soon as you can, gorgeous, please do these powerful and potent exercises that we've just shared together. I hope you've taken down copious amounts of golden nuggets, success lessons of life that can give you everything that you dream of. And if you've loved this podcast today, please leave me a comment in the reviews because I would love to see your thoughts and your feelings around this, and I'm hopefully having an impact on you. And as your mentor and your coach in this moment in time, I am always interested because I believe in you and I believe in your dreams. And that is it for today's podcast. And we are going to be delving into this subject around bridging the gap of where you are to where you want to get to, and around money far more in depth as time goes by. This has been a powerful topic today, again around money, and a topic that people feel either excited to talk about or people feel weird about talking. For me, however, I love talking about money, and because I know money can change lives in so many positive ways if you are in control of it and it is not in control of you. And as I always say, gorgeous, unless we are growing, we are dying. And learning how to empower all 7 areas of your life is one of my favorite Live Now life success principles that I teach inside my coaching and mentoring community. You see, your past doesn't have to determine your future or your destiny. You can change if you truly want to. And anyway, as I always say, gorgeous, what is the point of holding on to the past if it is not serving you? And if it is killing your dreams, it is time to let it go. Live in the now while we plan and create an amazing new chapter of our life. You see, your financial destiny isn't in a game, as I just said a moment ago, and you are so worthy of creating wealth and abundance in every area of your life. And so I want to say thank you for listening to this episode. And if you know somebody else who would love to go from feeling frustrated to feeling fabulous and successful in all areas of their life, then please share this podcast message with them. And as you know, we're going to be talking about love, health, relationships, money, vocation, happiness, and personal growth. Then please let them know to subscribe to Gday Gorgeous podcast that empowers women for life. You know it would mean the world to me if you could help me create the butterfly effect by sharing this important and impactful message to as many listeners around the globe as we can together, and show them too that they can live their hopes and their dreams one step at a time, one day at a time. And so, gorgeous, if you've liked what you've heard today and you found great value in today's success lesson, I would be super grateful if you just take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and even a comment if you like, and share this podcast with your friends, your family, your community. And to find out more about how to get your copy of my book, From Frustrated to Fabulous. This comes in paperback and audio, or if you're even interested in my journal that I created, From My Heart to Yours, My Life by Design, then please visit me at gdaygorgeous.com. You can see about my select coaching, the community of other women who are getting fabulous results in every area of their life. Thanks again for joining me on Gday Gorgeous podcast that empowers women for life. And until next week, be bold, be courageous, and be fabulous. Bye for now.